we can. I could turn it up a wee bit, but I think it will just distort on YouTube. But
I don't think if you turn it up louder, it'll necessarily bring more people into the room either, you know.
It's just I don't want it to be.
If I talk a little louder, more people will like, you know, like my post. You know.
We did do a check again. I'll just do a check again just to make sure nothing happened. Google have changed the software overnight though. We did do a check again. I'll just do a check again just to make sure. You guys can talk so we can hear you repeat back.
Hello. Hello.
Right, enough. Google have changed the software overnight though. We did do a check again. I'll just do a check again just to make sure. You guys can talk so we can hear you repeat back.
Hello.
Sounds clear to me. No, it's working well. Enough. Google have changed. It's working good here from what I can see anyway. So we're back.
That's pretty good. I mean, it's a round world, huh?
Yeah.
So much for flat Earth.
Yeah.
What time is it for you, Paul?
It's now 7:15. There you go.
Well, it's
7:17.
10:15 here.
Right. So
and you're a day ahead of me.
Yeah.
So you're in Sunday. We're in Saturday still.
So yeah, just talk about you were talking about your alien abduction and your wife. How many years ago did that happen again?
Lord have mercy. It was roughly about almost 4 years ago. It's when I first started as a field investigator for MUFON. You really want me to talk about this stuff, huh, Paul?
Well, no. You can talk. You can talk about. You can jump into the alien agenda topic from there if you want.
Well, you know, apparently the alien agenda for me was I had a visit scheduled for whatever reason that they decided to do that. You know, and it was the last thing I kind of expected. At the time, I had heard a little bit about. You know, the CE5 stuff and sending out a mental thought out to our visitors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was hoping to meet, you know, some lovely Nordic ladies, or you know, Val Thor would have been cool to have met. You know, it's like I was thinking about the Italian Friends case where you know, there were these interesting guys that. You know, sort of hung out, and they would drink wine and talk cosmic stuff. And so I started sending out a mental message out to the cosmos. And I really, you know, I'd read quite a few UFO books at that point, but I really wasn't an investigator into it myself. So, but I was sending this thought out where, you know, I hear a lot of people complaining they don't want to be abducted, and it's this horrible thing, and I want to be abducted. Come and abduct me. I want to meet you. You know.
Yeah.
You can. You know. It's like, you know. I don't really want to deal with probing, or you know. I'd prefer that didn't happen. But you know, please. You know, I want to visit. You know, take me away. You know. And so it actually kind of happened to me. And I really wasn't expecting it to happen. You know, you send that stuff out, and I kind of did it like you would meditate or you would pray, you know, and I was just sending those thoughts out and being kind of deep about it. But I had just closed my first UFO case for MUFON, which was a Mylar balloon.
Aren't they always?
Yeah, this was a Mylar balloon that was out in it was near the Lockheed plant, but it was a Mylar balloon. It wasn't anything really all that interesting, you know. So I had to tell the guy, and he got mad at me on the phone. And no, it was a UFO. It's like, dude, that's a star-shaped Mylar balloon. Here's a picture of you can buy it at this store. And I don't really. I think that as the years have gone by, I've learned to be a little more subtle about that. But that was my first case, and I didn't really have any subtlety. And I told him what he had seen, and I gave him a photograph of where you could buy one for himself if he wanted to get a star-shaped Mylar balloon.
Uh-huh.
So, but all the while I was still sending out my little thoughts out to ET, whoever that might be. And I didn't really say, well, I don't want to talk to reptilians, you know. I prefer that the mantids didn't get this message. No, I didn't think that. I was just kind of sending it out to the universe. It's like, whoever gets this, I want to meet you.
Yeah.
So it was that week that I had become a field investigator for MUFON, and I was going to sleep. I had recently had a hip surgery, so I put my pillows up kind of high in bed. And I kind of went to sleep in a semi-recumbent position when I would go to bed at night. So I'd gotten comfortable, and I had my pillows behind my back. I was sitting up there, and I was starting to get restful when I started to notice that the crickets in our house were becoming very, very quiet. We had a little cricket problem in our rafters. It could be quite a din at times.
In your rafters?
Yes. In our rafters in our old house.
So it's like you needed a rat up there, probably.
No, it was crickets. I don't think you would hear a rat on the roof.
No. You need a rat to eat the crickets, and then that's it solved.
Well, these guys were living inside of the house, and so maybe that's a good thing that they were there.
Right.
Because they were there. So, but it got very, very quiet. The air seemed to get thicker somehow. And there was a light that started shining in our room. And it wasn't coming from any particular point. It seemed to be emanating from everything, as though the room itself was becoming lit within itself. I'm not sure if it was pervading the house or if they did something to the atoms of the wood and objects in our room, but for whatever reason, our room started lighting up with this blue kind of light. And when I say blue, it wasn't so much the color as the feeling of blue. It was calming. It was a calming, bright light. And I noticed that I couldn't move my feet, and I couldn't move my fingers. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't move anything after a little while. It was maybe over the period of 30 seconds to where I went from being able to move my extremities to where I was sort of dead weight. And it was very scary for me because I'm actually a nurse and I've taken care of quite a few quadriplegics over the years. And the last thing I would ever want to be would be a quadriplegic. But suddenly I was rendered with quadriplegia. So I lay there, and I wasn't screaming yet. and about by the time I would want to scream, I couldn't scream. The room became dark again, and I could see the corner of near where our television was. There was a corner over to the left side of our room. It started swirling around a little bit. And then it started swirling. It sort of became this swirl, like if you poured some milk into your coffee cup. And it opened up. And you couldn't hear anything in the room. It seemed like the air was very, very thick. Yeah. And I kind of went into what I would call a hypnagogic state, where it was between a dream state and between a waking state. It wasn't, I mean, I was not falling asleep. That was the last thing I would want to do. I was horrified. I couldn't move my body. But I was put into this different mind state. And the room became dark, and I saw the wall open up. There was distance that I could see in this hole in our wall. Right. It was a hole that was maybe 8 feet around, and you could see distance. Now, in our house, there was a neighbor who lived like maybe 15 feet away from our house. So it's not like a UFO parked next to our room. No. it had to have been like an interdimensional thing.
That sounds very
paranormal
to the story that we were talking about last live stream. We had a guy called Jinso who talked about seeing a shadow man standing right in front of him in a lobby, and his friends saw it too. And then the shadow man was looking at them like it thought that it could see it. They could see it or whatever, and it ran down the stairs and went through a doorway. So that was apparently where they were going to go. And so they get up and look at each other and say, "Did you see that?" Yep. We said we better go down there and do our job or whatever. He went down to the storeroom. They had to open the door, of course, because they couldn't pass through it. And they saw this big oval vortex in there, which looked into another world. And it looked like they couldn't actually see. He couldn't actually see anything in it. It was like really pitch black, but he could see outlines of trees and stuff like that. So maybe it's the same sort of thing with the aliens as well, or maybe it was an alien. Same sort of thing, or it could be some new technology where they've sort of got invisibility technology, where some people can still see them. Maybe they got the right chemical mindset in the brain, and it ran through the portal, which is like a stargate into, maybe cross to a planet even, or another place on Earth, like into an underground base or whatever. So you never know. So maybe your experience is related to his experience. It's a shame he's not on, because he could probably talk about it with you. Yeah,
maybe.
But rather than having a UFO come down and merge with the house, maybe it's like this portal that opens up and connects into the other world, and they can bring in as many people as they like, or take as many people as they like into the same portal. But anyway, I'll let you carry on.
Sure.
Yeah, so the person down the side here said, hang on. The person down the side here said he doesn't think they're grey. Now, what color were these? Let's see. One life man has said, don't think they have grey skin. I think it's green like a reptilian. The grey color is a suit. Well, that's really possible. So what did you see? Carry on.
Well, I'm just going to tell you what I saw.
Yeah.
We can talk about what I think about it later.
Okay.
I'll just tell you, continue telling you what I experienced and what I saw.
Right.
So I could not move. The wall was open about 7 or 8 feet worth of distance, and I could just see light in the background, and it just seemed like distance.
Mm-hmm.
There was a tall creature that was standing like a humanoid that was standing in the portal, that just stood there like a watcher. And I had 4 gray, your proverbial gray aliens. They're about 3.5 to 4 feet tall, that slid up to my bed. They didn't walk to my bed. They didn't move their legs. They just it was almost like they were on ice skates or something. It was just very smooth. And they came up to where I was, and they connected tubes to my arms and to my legs. It was to my extremities, and they were taking blood, or it felt like energy as well. I felt like they stood there and they took some vital thing from me.
Right.
And but I, when it was happening, I believed it was my blood. That's what I still kind of believe what it was. And I didn't get a calming message. They just stood there with their black, shiny eyes. And the strange thing is that, when I say that I was in a hypnagogic state, I couldn't really see the colors of things. It was black and white. It was like in a dark room now.
Uh-huh.
There was light coming from the hole on the wall, but our room it wasn't lit up anymore. It was lit up before this happened, and I was horrified, and I was thinking thoughts at them. I figured at this point, well, it worked.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so I guess they could hear me.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, what are you doing to me? And stop. And are you, who are you? And what are and there was just nothing coming back. I didn't get any message at all.
Uh-huh.
they just stared at me, and they took my blood and my energy, I believe is what they were taking as well. It took maybe about 5 minutes altogether, where I was just, time, it could have been 5 minutes, it could have been 15 minutes. I just know that I was struggling within, but I couldn't struggle with my body, that my body, I could not move. The only way I could protest was in my own mind. And at certain points, I was wondering if they could even hear that. Yeah. So I was sort of recumbent there on the bed and not able to do anything to protect myself or to stop what was going on. Anyhow, the tubes disengaged from me, and they kind of, I remember them just like pulling away, almost like they were, being reeled back somehow. And the four entities that were around my bed, there were 3 on one side and there was 1 to my right side, that they went backwards, and they slid back out through the wall the same way that they came in. The whole time, the tall guy that was standing there was still standing there. It was like he didn't really move. He was a sentinel. I guess he was watching, or, I don't even know why he was there, because there's nothing I could do about anything. The wall swirled again, and it closed up. The room started lighting up again. It was bright. You still couldn't hear crickets, but the room was glowing again with the glow that it had originally. And when I was finally able to move, I shook my wife, and I kept shaking her, and she was out. It was like shaking a dead person, or somebody that was under, some, anesthesia of some kind. When I finally woke her, she was really, really angry, and I remember that what she said was, "Oh my God, Earl, is this what I have to look forward to? Oh my God, you've gone insane. This whole UFO thing, And I really didn't know what to say. And I screamed when I was able to. I'm still amazed that neighbors didn't come to the door, or that they didn't call the authorities or something. But anyway, that was the first and only encounter that I've ever had with our little short, gray, black-eyed buddies. They weren't very friendly. They seemed very robotic to me. Now that same week, there was 2 days later, I was asleep, and my wife started shaking me, and our room was lit up again, and it was lit from within. There was no light in our room. There was no object that was lighting our room up. It was just lighting by itself, like the molecules of everything had suddenly been hit with photons of their own somehow.
Yeah.
And she was shaking me, and she said, "Earl, you need to tell your little friends to leave us the F," she used the F word. She said, "Leave us the F alone.
Yeah.
I already have insomnia as it is."
Yeah.
That was the second night. 2 nights after that, we both woke up, and again, our room was lit up with light. This time I ran to the window, and I could see that there was light coming from above our house. There, you couldn't hear a helicopter. There was no sound. The crickets were perfectly quiet again,
Right.
Which didn't happen very often. So it was a weird week, so, here's your, caveat emptor. If you're going to become a UFO investigator, you just might get a little visit.
Yeah.
And that's all that's it. There's nothing more to the story. I mean, I don't think there's anything else to remember. I really don't need to be hypnotically regressed, because I remember the whole thing. I was awake for it. It was very strange. It was out of the blue, and I've never experienced anything like that again. But when I hear people's crazy stories, I listen.
Yeah.
I listen. And I might not have if I hadn't gone through that myself.
Yeah.
But I did go through that myself. So when I hear somebody's crazy story about, they have some entity comes and visits them and has a cowl over their head or whatever, or they were levitated into a craft, I know that it's possible because I never would have believed that this could have happened. I went into find out about UFOs. I thought that it was going to be like, I was going to be hearing stories, and if I was lucky, maybe I would see a cool photograph or something. Had no idea that I would be, become part of the phenomenon.
Yeah.
But, it's like disturbing the cosmos. You're in the cosmos. You nudge it a little bit, it might nudge you back.
Of course, you're not the only MUFON investigator to see a alien grey. I'm not sure if you know about your sidekick Chase from MUFON.
Chase Klotsky saw a grey in the middle of the field.
She was on an investigation at the time to see a crop circle or UFOs in the sky. You know her story. You want to tell a story, or shall I tell it?
I've heard about it. You can tell it. It's Ryan Sprague wrote about it in his somewhere in the skies book.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Is where it was published.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought she went going to sell the story though. She kept saying that History Channel on Martin Willis' show. They asked her if she would sell the story to him. Or do an episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you not watched the Martin Willis interview?
I don't know. I'm on there on Tuesday, but I didn't hear that one.
I should really post a link to it. It's on Discord somewhere. Let's see.
Sure, I'd like to see that. I'd like to hear that.
Let's see. I'll find it in this thing here. This is what's good on Discord. If you join the Discord group, we've got lots of little nice things in there for people to watch, and we got a collection of people that've actually seen these UFOs and up close, not just lights in the sky, this real stuff. Unfortunately,
lights in the sky are boring, man.
Yeah, I'll just find the link for it. Just loading it now, I think.
I mean, they're not boring if you see them yourself, but I always get pictures of lights in the sky, and it's kind of like, well, yeah, I can't do anything with that. It could be Jupiter or Saturn or a spaceship from Zeta Reticuli,
Chase from MUFON. I'll just post a link in the side now for anyone that wants to look at it.
Well, Chase is a director of investigations for MUFON.
Yeah.
So I actually, I kind of go by what she has us doing as far as our investigations.
You obviously do monthly meetings with her. How do you do that? Do it over Skype or something?
Chase is cool. She's kind of hands off mostly. She lets us do it the way that we do it ourselves. Everybody has their own style at MUFON. You kind of have to find your own style as far as your investigations of UFOs go and our visitors go. We have certain precepts that were set by both J. Allen Hynek as well as Jacques Vallée.
Yeah,
we use Hynek's CE1, 2, 3 classifications. We use Jacques Vallée's classifications as far as whether a UFO affected you psychologically, or if a UFO was just seen line of sight, or we definitely go by. We stand on the shoulders of giants, more or less, and that's the way that you're supposed to do it. You have to remember that MUFON's creed is the scientific investigation of UFOs for, the benefit of humanity. And I think that, there is a benefit for humanity beyond just things like finding out about 0-point energy or whatever might make technology better for us. That I think that finding out about our visitors and taking them into taking the visits that people experience and the way that affects people and the way it affects you personally, is sort of furthering human evolution, I think. I think that if anything, the alien agenda may be to bring us to a different level where perhaps we are closer to their level. I think that they're further evolved than we are. They've been around a long time. Now, they may have lost some of the things that we hold dear, that we consider humanity, and maybe they're trying to get some of those things back. I hear from a lot of people that in their encounters with our extraterrestrials, that the ETs are still surprised by our emotions and by love, or even by hatred, you know, by our strong emotions. That perhaps that's something that they gave up in order to live longer and to be able to travel the cosmos and do the things that they do. But you know, I think that what's happening on Earth is probably actually an exchange of things. That they want something from us, and I think that we probably want some things from them as well. You know, and hopefully it'll work out. And hopefully there's not you know, it's not Independence Day at any point, right? You know.
So did you actually believe in UFOs, or were you before you started MUFON and all this experience, or were you just interested?
You know, I was interested. All my life I've been obsessed with extraterrestrials and extraterrestrial life. The earliest memories I have are of, you know, drawing control panels on, you know, with crayons and taping them to my wall so I could play spaceship. You know, I mean, that's, you know, 4 years old. Or, you know, I remember, you know, my dad built a wooden swing set in our backyard that had monkey bars, and there was some wood that was left over, and I hammered some of that wood together into a little rocket ship, and I did my best to paint little controls on that, and I begged my dad to carry that up to the top of the swing set. And I mean, the memory is so sharp in my mind. I remember my mom looking at me through the kitchen window going, "Earl, who are you waving at? Who are you talking to out there?" And I said, "Oh, the space people, Mom. You know, I'm waving at the space people." So apparently this has been a thing. It's been, it's kind of always been there, and something I've been interested in. No matter where I was in my life. You know, I had a little period in my life where I was, you know, I started reading the Bible and I became very religious. But what books were my favorite books? It was C.S. Lewis's space trilogy, for goodness sake. You know, I was obsessed with the space trilogy. So it's always been there, no matter what, you know, permutations I put myself through. It's always been there. What led me to become a UFO investigator myself was really I noticed that I was getting a little older. You know,
it's a bugger, isn't it?
You know, if I was going to do it, I had better do it. You know. And I saw a Hainer One show on TV, and I started watching it, and I started. And I'd been reading books about the phenomena. You know, I'd read, you know, I'd read Valet. I know I had read Chariots of the Gods when I was a kid. I remember reading some of the contactee stuff that was popular back in the late 50s out in the Joshua Tree area. Some of the stuff that came from that. But, you know, I mean, I know you know my mom's story, Paul. I was kind of raised with some of the knowledge that we weren't alone. Because my mom knew that in her work with Hughes aircraft back in the 1950s.
I'll just post
so I did know that
on the side. Hang on. For newcomers here, they probably haven't heard your
Hello,
mum.
newcomers.
I don't
so
want
I knew that there was something there. You know, I knew there was something there. And I guess that I really just felt like it was the time for me to start investigating it for myself. I'd read everything that I could read about it, and I wasn't satisfied. I didn't know if it was a real thing yet. I did not have any personal experiences with it. I just had other people's stories. So I guess that was the defining factor for myself, is that I wanted to know personally. And I feel like I do know. I mean, it's a very real phenomena. I mean, it's not just a made up thing. People are seeing UFOs or being visited. I believe it's been going on for a long, long time.
Yeah. I'm just multitasking here at the moment. I'm not sure if there's any questions anyone wants to ask you, but probably I'll sum up Chase's story of seeing an alien grey. So to me, you know, when you hear all these credible people out there that's seen things for real, it kind of adds up that it must be actually a real thing that's happening and not people's wacky, you know, tinfoil head stuff happening. So basically, she got this UFO MUFON case. I'm not sure what the number was, but this guy was talking to a farmer, I think it was talking about seeing these UFOs in the sky and leaving crop circles. So she went out there to investigate, and she had all the technology with her. And they were walking out to the middle of one of these crop circles or fields, or I suppose it was corn or something like that. And suddenly they look up and see a TR-3B heading towards them. A mothership, I suppose, very big. And her camera stopped working. All the batteries died, she said, and she couldn't film it. And
that's a thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's an EMP. You know, it'll drain your phone.
But then maybe they sent out that on purpose to make sure no one was filming it as it was coming close to them.
Yeah, it's feasible, you know, deniability.
Anyway, I think
visitors want that.
I think she said to the other guys, "Well, we'll head back to the car, get another camera or something like that." I'm not sure exactly what happened, but they all got scared of this thing approaching them, and so they were running through the cornfield, and suddenly the guy in front stopped, and she slammed into the back of him. And there is a alien grey standing right in front of him in the field. And of course, the smoking gun evidence of all time, and none of her cameras is working. You know, it's not like you see on these TV shows where they've got headsets on and it's filming everything as they're doing it. So unfortunately, all that evidence was lost, which would have been the best ever. She would have sold that for millions, or MUFON would have been millionaires, I'd say, with that footage.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
you don't think of reaching for your phone though when you see something. That's and that is a part of the phenomenon.
Yeah,
I believe that. Well, now you have to think that we have animal sanctuaries where we go and we tranquilize certain beasts, and we try to keep them healthy, and we do our our stuff there. And we want them to live as though it's their natural habitat, right? We don't want them to think that we're coming down in helicopters or jeeps or whatever it is, tranquilizing them, doing medical procedures, and then leaving them. We just want them to forget about that. We want to see what animals act like in their natural habitat. So I imagine that our visitors are kind of doing the same thing with us. For whatever reason, they're interested with humanity. They're interested in our society. They're interested in our emotions and how we deal with each other. And they don't want us to be obsessed like you and I are about them. We're the odd people out because we do think about this a lot.
Yes.
But I don't think that that's really the reaction that they want.
Yeah.
They want to see how we react in our natural habitat.
Okay.
And if we know that we're being tranquilized and having procedures done on us and else what, it kind of ruins the whole effect of the matter, So you got to figure that must be that's the way I think about it anyway. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what I tell myself.
So I'll just go through some of the side chatters here. See what we got here. I shake my wife too. Doesn't do any good.
Nah, it doesn't. If they're out, they're out. But next time I was out, and she was shaking me, and I was kind of useless in that situation.
Okay, next one is crazy stories could be true, but selling the truth is like teaching math to a flat earther.
Yeah. That's true.
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know, when you start.
I mean, I don't really have anything to prove. The only reason why I told you guys is because Paul asked me to tell you my story. You know, and if I said that it didn't happen, I would be a liar.
Yeah.
For a long time, I didn't talk about it, and I had told my state director about it, and I told Peter Robbins about it. Those were the two people that knew.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't tell anybody about my story until maybe a year ago, and I started hinting to Paul about it. I started hinting to a couple other friends about it. But you know, now I work for the experiencer research team at MUFON, and I hear a lot of stories that are similar to my own, and some of them are more outlandish. You know, I mean, there's some crazy stories.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that our visitors use screen memories. They use things to make people feel more comfortable or less comfortable sometimes. You know, I think there's some people that are too comfortable with their visits, and so they try to make it less comfortable. Yeah, I mean, I only have stuff to lose here, to telling my crazy story.
Your daytime job.
I know my state director hates me talking about the story. He hates it, you know.
I love it. I love your story.
I mean, you know, I mean, I can tell you UFO stories till the sun comes down, because you know I've closed 400 of them so far.
Really?
For MUFON.
Really?
But you know, but this is my own story, and that's what Paul wanted me to tell you guys, so that's the only reason why I brought it.
That's another reason why people don't tell the stories that they experience, because they've got a daytime job and they think they're crazy and they could lose their position, especially if they're in a police job or a government job where they're meant to be of sound mind. Obviously they and the FBI, imagine FBI people getting abducted and they can't tell the story because you know, because it'll affect their position. You know,
if you work for Homeland Security or something like that, you can't tell your story with your name or your face with it. You simply can't.
No.
You know, it could destroy your career.
Okay, we'll just go
with me. You know, I mean, I feel pretty comfortable in my career, and you know, everybody knows I'm a really good nurse, and my friends love me, and so people, you know that I'm not apt to have, you know, psychological breakdowns of any sort.
No.
So that's why I feel comfortable telling you guys that.
Yeah. Or you can just deny it and say, well, I'll just tell them the story, and then people don't know if it's true or not. Well, you can say it could have been a dream. You could say it could have been a dream, but it's an interesting story.
You know, I mean, I wasn't on any psychotropic drug. I wasn't drinking too much. I think I might have had a beer that night.
Yeah.
You know? That was probably about it. It was just a normal night, like any night. There was nothing out of the ordinary about it.
No.
You know, I closed a UFO case that was a Mylar balloon sighting.
Right. Yeah. And what type of balloon was it?
It was a star-shaped Mylar balloon.
Okay.
Like a gold-shaped, gold-colored star-shaped party balloon.
Should we look up that old case?
Paul, probably, I could find it for you if you really want. But I'm probably gonna have to rejoin you on my iPad, because I'm noticing that my phone is getting kind of low on charge here. So you might want to talk about something else. You
can just drop off there and just click the camera icon and you'll be straight on again.
Okay, cool. I think this is a good point probably for me to go, because I got 3% charge.
Yeah.
We started at like 60% charge. I don't know why my phone, you know.
Wi-Fi takes a lot of power, I think.
I guess so. All right. I'll be right back with you.
Okay. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, who we got on? Only got you here, John? Are you enjoying the show so far?
There's 5 watching. You've got 14 likes.
Yeah, I know, it's going crazy. People are coming and going, maybe, or some troll counts liking it for us. But yeah, it's pretty interesting so far, isn't it? We're getting some more answers that we didn't have here before on other live streams. He was reluctant to tell the story initially, as he said, and yeah, he's opening up a wee bit more now. According to this, is 7 watching, and on the main channel, only just updated. It said 9. I think it says 9 over there. So it's going up and down between 4 watching to 9 watching. So it will be with us in a minute again, while he changes devices with power. It's almost like I would just wonder if now he's on, maybe they're sucking his batteries dry as well. You know, if it's paranormal, in a sense, it could affect the batteries and the devices. That's why I'm always hardwired here. I'm always on power, and I'm always on a non-Wi-Fi system where I've got a cable going straight to everything, so nothing can be interfered wirelessly anyway. Radio frequency. So we got who we got in the chat here? We got Renee with us. Who else is out there? One Life Man still with us. Who else we got? Vern, you should be on voice, man. This is your day. This is your day to talk to a real MUFON investigator who's had some crazy experiences like these guys. So get on there. He doesn't often come on because he's a busy guy. Philip Snyder was a military war hero, but wasn't he a wee bit of a whack job, that one? That's the one that hung himself with so-called rubber pipes, which was kind of strange because he only had 3 fingers on one hand, and I think he had an arm missing, didn't he, as well? Did he have an arm missing? I can't remember.
It's pretty messed up.
Yeah, Phil Snyder, you know the one I'm talking about. Talked about underground bases that they were building underground out in the desert there with a special drill bits that used like a fusion reactor or something like that that sort of melted the rock.
That was Dulce.
Yeah, and then they naturally broke into a underground cave, and alien war started out where they're starting to shoot at each other. Have we got Earl back on with us here? I heard something. So. I thought I heard something. Oh yeah, here he is. I'll just switch it back to him.
There you go. Yeah,
he was on. Hello, are you there? We're getting a picture now, are we? No.
Hold on, I'm having trouble here. I don't know why.
I don't know why either. You got icon up and voice, but no video. You click the video button here.
Hold on, let me see what's going on with the video.
Yes,
it should be up.
We're getting a black screen here, grey screen.
Hold on. Okay. Hold on,
I think you got the wrong camera. You got to switch cameras.
Hold on.
You got the front. You got the back camera, not the front camera.
All right, hold on. I'm going around.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
So for your vertical again. Is that always portrait? Let's see. Does it fit on?
Hello there.
Oh, that'll do. That'll be all right. Just keep it like that.
Good.
So where were we? We were talking about Phil Snyder because Renee brought his name up. So, do you know Phil Snyder?
Yeah, I know the story. I don't know him. He's gone now. He's not with us anymore.
Yeah, that's right. He apparently committed suicide.
Story. You're talking about the Dulce thing, right?
Yeah.
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 You know, I don't know what I don't know enough. I honestly don't know how I feel about that story. I've heard it. I think it's an interesting story. It could be real.
Yeah.
It could very well be real, but I've heard pros and cons on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to admit the guy was hurt by something. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He had some damage done to himself.
Yeah.
Alien ray gun or something. I don't know.
The thing that got me was his suicide. It's kind of strange suicide. He hung himself with a tube or something, and
it was filled with a catheter.
Yeah, which is a really strange thing, to do. And he only had like three fingers on one hand or something.
I don't know if I know about that. Well, I know that he lost fingers, and I know that he had been hurt in his abdomen as well. Correct?
Yeah.
He said that he was shot by an alien ray gun, more or less.
Oh, you're breaking up a bit there, or you're turning robotic for some reason.
Uh-oh. Are we okay now?
Yeah.
Hello?
It couldn't be Paul's laptop doing that.
I don't think so. It's all good here. We're sitting at
I'm
75.
not sure.
We're sitting at 75 CPU at the moment, which is good.
Hmm.
Yes,
I can see myself.
I think you're a wee bit
my
louder
ugly
too
face
for
is
some reason.
the same as it usually is.
I think you're a wee bit louder, but it doesn't really matter too much. So yeah, whereabouts were we? Sort of lost our way. What was the last thing you're talking about? Yeah.
Well, I just kind of talked about my own experience and this.
Yeah.
That now in my life, the last 4 years of my life, where I've just thrown myself at the phenomenon, and really every waking moment, you know, I'm always thinking about it, and I'm always trying to figure out
what it's all about,
what the phenomenon means to us.
Yeah.
That I experience beautiful synchronicities in my life that are like magic. I mean, I'll be thinking about something, or I'll have a case that has to do with some crazy. I'm trying to think of an example, but you know, just, you know, a synchronicity. Carl Jung, the way that he described synchronicity was that it's a meaningful coincidence, and the meaningful coincidence that he always brought up was that he was having a session with a woman, you know, as he was a psychologist, where she was talking about this dream that she had of a scarab beetle, and that it had these, you know, sort of iridescent wings on it, and that she saw this beetle that was walking on the table. And while she was telling her story to him, he was hearing this strange battering at the window, and it was like bam, 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 and it was interrupting their session. So he excused himself. He opened up the window, and a scarab beetle flew into the room, and it landed on the table. Now that's a meaningful coincidence, and that's a synchronicity. Yeah. And I experienced that in my life, and I believe, you know, before I was engaging with a phenomena, I didn't experience synchronicities like that. You know, I once in a while I would have something, you know, that I couldn't understand that would happen in my life, but it wasn't like a train or a pattern of those instances of synchronicities, and they happen now. They happen every single day. It's to the point where, you know, it's not common to where I just like, oh, you know, another miracle. Yeah. But you know, it's definitely a thing, and I think that that's from the phenomenon as well. So I don't think that it's a malevolent phenomenon. Yeah. You know, if somebody told me this once, they said that if you take your pet to the veterinarian to have shots or a surgery or whatever, your dog or your cat is gonna, they hate the vet. You know, it's like this horror show to them. Yeah, they don't understand it. It just seems like this is something that's helping them. So maybe we just don't understand. You know, maybe it's just beyond our conception to understand what they are doing with us and to us and with us. Right. You know, and I think about that a lot.
So, is there any crazy stories you've heard while doing abductee cases that you can tell?
Well, I hear them all the time, and you know, I'm always getting good cases. You know, I sort of had a proverbial one the other day where, you know, a woman, when she was 4 years old, she was playing with a little spider on her screen window, and her grandfather was asleep, you know, next to her. She was staying with her grandma and her grandpa, and she was kind of sleeping in their room, and she saw a full-on flying saucer. She said that the bottom of it was pitch black, and it had red and blue lights that were running around the sides of it. And that was the first time that she had an experience. Later on, she and her sister, they were looking out the window. It was a couple of years later. So they were still very young, but this time there was a second witness. And they saw an object in the sky, and it got brighter and brighter. And then their room flooded with light. And there was missing time. And the two sisters remember this. And it happened back in 1964, for goodness sake. You know, it was a long, long time
Before
ago.
my time.
But yeah, you know. Well, I was young too. I was born in 1958, so I was 6 years old at the time. I think she was about the same age as myself. That was a good story, and this woman, again, you know, it's like when you have that encounter, it grabs you, and you have that interest the rest of your life. And she, you know, here she is. She's kind of my age, and she's just trying to make sense of it. You know, I hear stories like that every single day. I talk with people who think that it's the most horrible thing in the world what's happening to them, and they wish they could make it stop.
Right.
I've talked with people who wish that they could strangle their aliens or shoot their aliens, you know. And then I talk with people where it's their angels, and they feel like, you know, how could I live without my visitors, and that it's this meaningful thing. So, I don't know. I still don't understand the phenomenon completely myself. I feel like different things are going on. I don't think that it's all just one thing. I think people are having different experiences, that we have different visitors, and different people are having different experiences for whatever reason.
Well, I was hoping Vern was going to come on and tell his strange story, but apparently he was being chased by this cop because he was speeding down the highway, and suddenly this light come from the sky, and it shined a light onto the car, and it stopped dead. The cop car just stopped dead. And he was seeing this in his rear view mirror, and he kept on going. So he said it's almost like the aliens are sort of protecting him for some reason. And yeah, really.
I wish they'd do that for me. I got a ticket a couple of months ago.
Did you? So you have to go to a driving school and all that over there, don't you? And you lose a strike on your license and all sorts of crazy stuff over there.
I did traffic school.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it just, you know, it's a dent in your insurance if you don't do that.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to do it. But
may I ask how much you were speeding by?
It was like, how much I wasn't speeding that much at all, but apparently it's a dangerous corner. Now I know it's a dangerous corner. I didn't know that at the time.
Oh, right.
I think it was only like 6 or 7 miles above the speed limit, but you know, there was a crosswalk, and the guy stopped me. They actually had a crossing guard that was killed there, that was hit by a car. So that's why they watch that. You know, that intersection.
I thought you were going to say.
But, you know, I mean, everybody gets tickets. You know, if you drive, you're eventually going to get.
There wasn't where that plane crashed a few months back, was it? World War II German plane crashed there, wasn't it, on that same highway?
Oh, no.
No.
LA is sprawling. If you ever come here, you know, people think of Los Angeles as a city, but it's like a state in itself. I mean, you're talking, you know, Los Angeles County it's got to be like 200 square miles probably.
Yeah.
You know, from the southern coast to, you know, central California, it's sprawling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you have to you kind of have to drive here, or else you have to have aliens that take you, you know, places. Right? I'm just kidding.
Well, we need the technology, don't we, so we can get rid of the cars.
Well, Star Trek would work pretty good. You know, transporter room would be a good thing to have.
Well, yeah, we need to get humans off one planet. Maybe that's probably part of the agenda.
I'm all for that.
I wonder if the sort of you know how many people go missing every year. It's almost like there could be an agenda where they're sort of putting people on another planet to start building.
What if they are?
Yeah,
I've thought about that before. What if they are populating another planet?
It's possible.
Maybe they are. That's kind of how Australia started, right?
Right.
You know,
so they might know there's a big asteroid heading towards us, and it's going to be there in another 100 years or whatever, you know. And they can't.
Well, I'm sure that if they can get here, they can probably divert an asteroid. I don't think that there's.
possible.
You know, it would have to be something like if our sun was going to go nova or something like that.
Yeah, I was just making a
You'd wanna
theoretical
transplant
idea
us.
up there, though. Yeah, they might know when
Yeah.
when a star explodes. Say, so
Yeah, we don't really understand that. We think we do,
yeah,
but we're surprised all the time in astronomy, seeing a star will suddenly start becoming unstable. So we don't know. I mean, I honest to God, I don't think that it's a malevolent thing that we're being visited, because they've been here a long time, and while, you know, I have a horror story of my own, that's just my own conception of it. It's very subjective as far as, you know, my feelings about it. I mean, to me, it was really scary, but honestly, I mean, nobody really gave me a written guarantee that I was going to get a calming message if I, you know, if aliens came and if they wanted to take my DNA and blood or whatever,
Right.
you know, it's, you know, how do I know that that's a bad thing? Maybe they need to give me transfusions at some point, you know, and, you know, at some point, I don't know.
I suppose if
just,
you believe in a soul, right, and the body quits after 100 years or less, if you're lucky to live for 100 years, that they could use your DNA to create a clone of your body where your soul transfers back into it. Because I've heard the stories of people cloning.
I don't know.
I don't know. We're just talking agendas here, but obviously they've cloned dogs, and people said the dogs, you know, cloned their dogs after they died, and they say the dog has the same personality exactly like the dog that used to be that DNA.
Wow.
So maybe there's a connection
there,
yeah. So we've probably got a lot to experiment with there, but also
maybe.
Yeah, what else was I going to say? How long do you think the aliens have been on Earth?
You know.
Yeah, John was going to say something.
I was trying to hear.
Yes, carry on, John.
Yeah, they've been here for millennia.
Well, where's the proof?
Well, here in Arizona alone, around Phoenix, you look at the what's that? Oh, a chicken. I couldn't figure out what that sound was.
Yeah.
But the peoples that used to inhabit this region, 10,000 years ago, they've got all kinds of stuff that they've put on the rocks that show the aliens and their craft and portals, all kinds of crap. 10,000 years ago.
But from what I've read online with Dr. Jacobs, really he reckons that abductions really only started in the 1960s, with Betty and Barney Hill being the first one, from what I understood from stuff I read that he posted about. So, but have you heard of it?
There's alien abductions in the Bible.
Oh,
yeah. You know, I mean, there's abductions in the Bible where, you know, St. Paul was taken up in what was it? I think in the first chapter or second chapter of Acts in the New Testament, where he was taken up into heaven and given a vision, but he was taken into the sky, and there's a million stories in antiquity where people are taken up in chariots. It's not a new thing. People have been abducted through millennia, I think, as well. I don't think it's anything new. I think that I mean, there's that meme out there where, 1947 we blew up, the atomic bomb, and we suddenly garnered their attention, and boom, there they were.
Yeah.
I don't think that's correct. I think that that they've been here a long time. I think, if you look in Sanskrit, in Indian, for the stories from India 5,000 years ago, they talk about these creatures coming down from the sky, and Vyama, they called them, and these elaborate flying machines. And it even talks about a nuclear war between two different bases of two different sects of beings, right?
Yeah.
And they've checked the soil in those areas, and there's radioactive isotopes there.
I've actually debunked that.
You have? Well,
yeah. I
know people that lived there for their entire lives, and I know that during the Second World War, Germans were actually coming over. They were on assignment to find out about it. You know, so I don't know. I don't know if you've actually debunked it all. You know, maybe you did.
Well, some expert debunked it. It was a made-up story apparently, but he's tracked it back in the ancient books and said the story originates from one source. So yeah, and the radiation is no higher than background radiation apparently, and yeah, I can't remember what episode it was on, but I did cover it. Indian something, or I called it, or something like that.
Well, I don't know. You'd have to talk with the people I work for at work. You know, I work for an Indian family, and they were from that region, and they say that that it's a thing. So I don't know. I don't live there, but
well, you got to remember. You got to remember it can be,
and it's in Sanskrit. You know, I mean, the stories themselves.
Apparently,
you can read them if you want.
Yeah, apparently, it's the way you interpret it, apparently, but yeah,
well, sure, it's like Ezekiel's wheel. It's the same thing.
What's happening here?
Yeah,
apparently it's you know, nuclear has a half-life, you know, and if it happened, then you got to work it on half-life of stuff. Now, what's happened here? Cancel. Okay, I was trying to find India. Did it search India ones here? Nope. Hang on. India. That's right, isn't it? Let me just zoom in. I think it was called India or something like that. It's India. Atomic bombs.
It is
maybe?
India.
Let's see. I'm just trying to see if I can find it. But yeah, you've seen some of my stuff that I do. You ain't got time to watch it. Obviously, everybody complains that they're too long and there's lots of information on them. And but yeah, I did. I remember that one I did here.
People don't like information anymore, you know.
That's why it's
unfortunate.
That's why you don't need to fake anything, because it's just so much information out there that you can talk about, and theories, and you can just talk about it, you know, and just get over with.
But well, let's talk about Australia. I mean, I've been there, and I've looked at cave paintings and petroglyphs that are 40,000 years old that they have. You know, they talk about lightning man who came down from the sky and brought agriculture and civilization to them.
Yeah,
and you know, that's definitely a thing. There's every single culture seems to have the same story. What do you make of that?
Red Indians?
You know, is it a coincidence?
Oh, I mean, Native Indians in America.
Yeah, Native Americans, it's the same thing. It's the sky people. It's in every single culture, they have the stories about people coming down from the sky, bringing them fire, bringing them language, bringing them civilization. And, you know, where does that come from? You know, I don't know that that's a coincidence. I think that that's a thing.
Yeah,
you know?
Let me see if I could.
It would be a coincidence if you found it maybe in, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 cultures. But when you look at every single culture on Earth, and they all have sky people coming down from the heavens that bring them civilization, you have to figure that there must be something to that. That's the way I take it anyway.
What's it? Vermanis. I'm not sure that's how you spell it.
Vimana. Yeah, there you go.
Vimana.
I always say that word wrong.
Yeah. These things here.
There you go.
Flying temples.
Yeah. That's where they all say that their temples came from. They were copying what they were seeing. It's you know, a proverbial cargo cult. There's cults that were in New Guinea and elsewhere where they saw airplanes flying over, and sometimes stuff would fall out of the airplanes, and so they thought of those as gifts from the gods, and they started building straw airplanes that they would give offerings to and, you know, dance in front of, and hoping that they get more gifts from the sky.
Oh, here it is.
Right?
Here's the episode I did on it.
It's a pattern.
It was a Sunday episode too. Bananas, rods, etc. So I'll just...
That's the most popular Indian airline is Vimana Airlines, by the way. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna vape on this show. We're like
yeah, you're right.
Unscripted here, so
yeah,
you got to watch me vape. And
I'm not too sure. Google always changing the rules. I haven't got money anyway, so but they'll probably end up deleting my channel and by the end of the year anyway, just like all UFO channels. Well, that's the way it's heading by the sounds of it. So they want to get rid of all conspiracies and just talking about UFOs, conspiracies. Who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, I did the episode there. I just posted it on the side there called Bananas. I've got expert breaks it all down for you, saying that it's been misinterpreted. So I can't remember all the details because it was actually quite a lot of information in the episode. But
well, I don't know about how people interpret it, but I know that that the family I work for, it's first generation from that's ever been in America, that they grew up in India, and this is what they were taught, is that these vehicles came down from the sky and that there were sky gods, that they brought civilization to Earth, and they considered them gods.
Yeah,
I think,
but their conception of a god is different than the Western conception of a god.
Yeah,
it's not so much almighty as it is mightier than we are.
Yes. Well, if there's these portal things, right? Remember this 1561 case. Let's see if I can bring up a picture. If it's going to load. Google's playing up. I think it was at the beginning. I debunked that one too, with the help of there.
My goodness, you're such a debunker, dude.
I know.
You have to join MUFON. I'll give you all of my drone cases.
Yeah.
You have my drones, my balloons, and my Chinese lanterns.
It looks like it's not going to load. Hang on. It doesn't like.
You like those?
It doesn't. Doesn't like. No, I don't actually. But
I hate it when I open up a case and I look at the video and right off I see like a little drone. You know, it's like
let's see if I can type it in. The famous German. It was in Germany, 1951 UFO case, 1561. I think it was this one here. You remember this one?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Well, apparently they reckon it is a depiction of sundogs, right? Which you get.
I've seen sundogs. That's just you get a sundog on you get one on each side of the sun. It's not a whole bunch of them, and they aren't cross shaped and
yes, they are.
Or multiple sundogs.
They've got some ancient...
I see sundogs all the time. I actually had an album called Sundogs that I put out years ago.
Yeah,
as a musician, that was the title of a record. A sundog is a reflection of the sun, and you have one on each side. It's not multiple.
Yeah, well, projections of the sun. They used to do what you call they used to carve it in wood and then press it onto paper back then. They didn't have presses or computers like we have today. So they reckon the guy took liberty with the etch and added his own stuff into it. But there's a picture of a sundog. Mixed in between together with others stood two big tubes. So, there's a lot of analysis done here. But I did come across a debunker that's actually found a lot of wood. But, it's in that episode.
Well, I've seen sundogs plenty of times, and that picture doesn't look anything like a sundog. Right. A sundog, you have one on each side of the sun, and that's a sundog.
Yeah.
You see them in pairs.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to.
It doesn't look like that.
You just have to watch my episode, I think. I can't remember all the.
It doesn't mean I'm going to agree with you.
You might do time you watched it all and go through all the different steps. Or I break it down and go through all the different steps.
I know. I know you're good. You're good, Paul. I respect your work.
But I just wonder.
I don't always agree with you.
So I don't
always agree with anybody.
Yeah.
And I change my own mind sometimes. So,
yeah, true.
So I don't know. I'm not going to go on too much longer, Paul, because I think I'm keeping my wife up, and it's about 11:30. So I've been on here for about an hour and a half.
Well, last time you lasted to 3 a.m. You were going like
but I'm
I thought.
making my wife mad here. So
can't you tell that?
You know I love you. I'm here with you. You know?
Tell the aliens that they can take her for a trip and bring her back.
I don't think she would want that. No.
Well,
she said.
Well,
she said, you can tell your little friends.
I don't know.
She already went there.
If they were nice and
that was her words.
Yeah, but if they were nice and let her have a look out the window and have a look at the solar system, yeah, I kind of like a trip like that. Yeah.
Well, apparently Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead got abducted and was taken on a little trip, is what I've heard from his widow, Menasha Garcia, talks about it. And I know his old roommates, his old private assistants that used to live with him. And he was apparently gone for 3 days. And he then suddenly showed up again. And he said that Mantis aliens had taken him on a tour of the cosmos.
Mantis.
And that it was the best time that he had ever had. And that he was just so sad that they brought him back. And, it was Jerry Garcia. He might have gotten a hold of some good LSD, as far as I know. There you go. Those are the guys. They did not eat his head in the process. That's a good thing. Rock stars and aliens. That's a thing too. Okay. John Lennon saw a UFO. Chris Squire of Yes was hovered over by a UFO. He told me at length about it personally. Jerry Garcia apparently believed that he had been abducted for 3 days by Mantis aliens. They were huge, he said.
Well, that one's got
they were a little scary looking.
That one looks like it's got a screw neck. A little screw up. These are actually drawings by Abductions.
I like praying mantises too. They're kind of cool looking bugs,
Ooh, look at that one.
Oh, I like that picture. That's spooky though.
Yeah, he's going to stick it into his ear or back of his neck.
Yeah, that's not necessarily good.
No.
Well, I think that sometimes they make us forget stuff on purpose,
Yeah, who did that one?
Might be a kindness.
Praying mantis. Wow. Oh, that's a good one. Someone's a real good.
I've never seen those guys.
So they have actually got long necks.
I've seen the little short guys.
So we just seen 2 images done by abductees, and they actually got long necks. So there you go.
Yeah.
And what we thought was a screw is
cool
actually
picture,
looks like some sort of outer body scales, maybe. Mind you, if you get abducted really by that, you'd shit your pants, wouldn't you? Come on. Oh, sorry about the language, but yeah, you'd be.
You're breaking your rules.
Yeah,
Paul.
yeah. We do.
You said shit.
Yeah, we're trying.
Well, yeah, that would definitely, you would soil your shorts. I would soil mine. But apparently, though, they're like the philosopher kings. That's what I've heard. That the mantids, apparently, a mind link with them is this wonderful thing that that they're very philosophical and kind and but there you go. I can't tell you that.
Well, I don't think if they tried to come into my house, my dog Charlie Roo would be really forgiven of them. I could understand why dogs would be trying to attack them, and why they don't like.
They
probably don't like pets, or dogs at least. Is that a dog he's holding there? He's fried up there. A dog, someone's pet owner.
There's a good science fiction novel about dogs. You should read City by Clifford Simic.
Yeah, you reckon I got time to read?
Humanity dies out.
Yeah.
Humanity dies out and the dogs take over. The dogs become intelligent. I think that we might have uplifted them a bit.
Right.
And then we die out. And they sort of look back at us as their gods. And they build statues to humans and stuff, but it's a doggy world.
Yeah.
This is kind of a cool book. I think you would enjoy it. It has robots in it too, Paul.
That one looks like something you would paint, you know, a Mantis.
Ooh, I like that one too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, I like that one too.
I've never seen one personally. I can't tell you what they look like.
Mm.
The little grays look like David Chase's drawings. He's pretty good.
Oh, do you know who they're from? These ones here.
Yeah, that's Corey Good's little
yeah
thing.
The chicken aliens.
No comment.
Has anyone actually?
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Cluck.
Well, you know, it's he's a bit fake, but do you know?
I've never heard anybody that has ever seen one other than him that I've talked with anyway.
Which kind of makes it a fabricated story, doesn't it? So.
Well, and I don't know. I think that Corey Good's story is pretty dubious, but you know, he might think mine was dubious too. So I don't know.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we don't care for Corey's story that much.
No.
I know that we're sort of in that group here, and I really don't. But
there you go.
that's a kind of an interesting picture there. I like that.
Yeah, but
he's got the wraparound eyes.
Yeah, but I think
you can see a lot.
I thought they had like 6 limbs, though. From what I heard.
I don't know. You hear different things from different people, you know, and there's probably variations on the theme. But, you know, I mean, he would do pretty well in a 360-degree movie theater. They used to have one at Disneyland, you know.
Right. And
he would really enjoy that.
So what color do you think they are? So you reckon gray might be suits? Because that's one of the questions asked down the side there.
I sometimes think that maybe they're, well, you know, that you hear a lot of stories in this field, and you have to sort of give them a grain of salt with there's a lot of stories out there, but the one that you hear is that when they actually did do an autopsy on the little gray guys, that they were very that their organs were not like ours, that they were sort of built for short term. They say that they didn't have an alimentary system where they could eat or excrete. That it was kind of thrown together in a temporary package. So maybe they're avatars. Maybe there's a space station out there somewhere where somebody from another star system can order up a little gray spacesuit body, and they transplant you in there, and you go to Earth for your vacation, or you know, whatever it is that you're doing.
That one's pretty good. I'll just zoom into that one.
Oh my!
Oh yeah.
Oh, that would scare me. I don't really want to meet him. He looks a little more like Cthulhu or something. I'm comfortable with.
That one's got a long head.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. They look all similar though, you know. Oh, look at that one. That looks like Peter Cushing from Star Wars with the sucked-in cheeks.
He's not very happy.
No.
It's like somebody buy that man a drink.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's it for those collections. Oh, look at that one. Spacesuit.
Wow. You have to give me a link to whatever it is that you're. What is
I'll post it down the side. It's just Google Images actually. I'm just going through them all. Just scroll.
Oh, okay.
Just scrolling
You're
down.
still looking at the Mantis stuff.
Yeah. So when you watch the stream back, the links will be there. Images, Grey. Well, Mantis.
All right, cool.
I did a search on Mantis.
Yeah.
So Mantis alien.
Well, Paul, I'm probably going to have to get going here pretty quick, my friend, because I'm out of charge, and that's kind of, I don't have any. We already used my phone.
Oh, that's right. Let me. Yeah, that's all right. If you have to go, you have to go. You know, it's all good.
Well, I don't have to, but my iPad and my phone are out of charge. So. But
well, you know, you could talk for hours on this stuff. You know, we've done it before, so.
Yeah, we have done it. Well, we'll do it again.
Yeah.
You know? I'll be back on soon. So.
Okay. Did he go? Or is he still there?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, right. I thought you dropped off. That's because John.
No. I was just giving you a little warning there.
Yeah. Cool. Oh well, it's good to have you on. Then we lasted an
It
hour and
was
a
great
half.
being on with you. It was good being back in out there land. I enjoy hanging out with you, Paul.
Yeah.
And,
But you need to
night.
join
You
our
too, John?
Discord group, so
Yeah.
we can.
My hair is like crazy. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, last time you had it all nice.
Saturday
You had
night.
it all nicely fluffed out, and you look like the you look like the wizard from Lord of the Rings. You know, with the hair.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not tonight.
Not tonight.
All right, you guys have a wonderful night.
You
Thank
too.
you for having me.
Yeah, and don't get.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, don't get
All
abducted by those nasty greys.
No.
And thank you,
All right,
Lisa.
take care, my friends.
And thank you, Lisa,
Bye
for
now.
letting us have Elle on. Thank you. Bye. And that brings you back to John.